What is good, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the fourth installment of Alphabets. Today we're going to be tackling the letter D, just like always. Do this graffiti style, as you would in a black book, alcohol markers, gel pens, whatever else we can get our hands on. So let's get into it. Yeah, I'm liking how this book is coming along so far. I've never really gone through and done each individual letter of the alphabet and laid them out like this, so just flipping through the pages, although there's only 3 done already, I'm really starting to like how it's forming up. I've noticed that the letters are they all have a common theme. They're all pretty basic, straightforward stuff. Today's going to be no different, but maybe later on we'll start looking at changing it up, and I might throw some wild style letters in there, and who knows, we might get something a little bit more funkier out. If you watch this and you got any thoughts, throw a comment in. I know there's still not too many viewers yet, but you know what? I started doing these videos for me, so that doesn't really matter. I'm going to keep going and get out all 26. Alright, today I'm using the cherry pink. Man, I like this colour. Once again, using the formwork or the framework method, and then just hanging mass in off of that. Tried and true method for me, as you're well aware. If you're not, this just gives me some structure when I'm forming up a letter. I don't really come into these videos planned, I'm also just flow with what I'm feeling at the time. So a lot of this is experimentation, so I never know how this is going to turn out. But yeah, sometimes letters like this just form themselves up. I mean, it's very straightforward sort of style, very reminiscent of what I've done in previous videos. But I still think it looks good.
Assassin like Tenchu, I got the advice, beyond that I can't protect you, can't defend you. Half of your so-called friends will pretend to. I come through with a kung fu type steez, Tai Chi, knowing that all of these crews aren't G's. I lived a hard piece and now peace keep. Move like butterflies, sting like bees, swing like Benny T. Debts, living with depth, spitting that death. Written's are off at the top of the head, breaking that bread then stepping ahead. Never again will I bow, that's not for Ben. Nights on a town, days on a bend. Get bent and your best man sent. The testament of the dead. Nothing, not a single thing said. Fuck him, off with their heads. Pulling that card, you wanna act hard. I'm probably the reason. Talking that tough and he's probably just teasing. For no good reason, borderline treason. All the time thieving. Caught up in rhymes, sorting them problems one at a time. Like Batman in Gotham, still making the offering. If not, I'm taking it off of him. Plot thicker than blood, I got more power than origin. I'm picking them up much quicker than I drop them. Sicker than fuck.
Just going to start coming in with the outline now. Once again, using the Artline 210, my favourite outline pen at the moment. Now, I can't do the letter D without mentioning a man that's near and dear to my heart, and that's a gentleman by the name of Debts. I met Debts sort of later on in the piece. Things are all going good, and he's basically a friend of the family, I know him through my personal life as well as sort of my graffiti life. And, not that I was ever trying to keep the two separate, but, this man sort of, he knows my family. He's part of my family. I still consider him part of my family to this day. We still talk and chat and, although we don't catch up too often, but, definitely got a lot of time for this gentleman. And he's still in the hip-hop world at the moment. He's making remixes. I'll throw a link to his channel and some of his stuff on this video and give him a shout out and give him some love. He doesn't actually know I'm doing these videos yet. I haven't told anybody. I started doing these videos for myself. And, some things about me. Very physical. I love, the gym. I love sports. Martial arts. I train in jiu-jitsu. So, you know, with all this COVID stuff going on and me not being able to train, I'm going a bit stir crazy. So it's another good reason why I started doing these videos, you know. Also to sort of honour, this is going to sound a bit crazy, but to honour the sacred in my life. Someone told me, you know, when you're going through these times and you can't do what you love, does that mean you stop loving it? Or do you find other ways to go and do it? You know, I can't always get out there and, you know, train the way I want to. You know, with all the restrictions, I can't go out and paint the way I want to anymore. So, you know, what do I do? And how do I honour those parts of me and those hobbies of mine that I love? And, you know, one thing that's sacred to me is graffiti, you know, is art. And this is just one more way of me, you know, getting out there. Just like I spoke about in the first video, you know, with AXA, when we started doing canvas battles and live demos and stuff, and a lot of people were shunning it and saying, well, that's not graffiti and that's not, you know, that's not what this is. But for us it was. And, you know, this is the same. These videos are the same. They're just one more tool for me to get up, to get out there, to get my stuff seen, and, you know, and to honour what I hold sacred. Now, it doesn't always work for jiu-jitsu and everything in my life, you know, but everything's temporary. This COVID stuff's temporary. So if you're struggling and you miss the things you love as well, you know what? It'll be over soon. Don't worry. You'll be back to doing whatever it is. And you know what? You'll probably have a deeper appreciation for it, just like me. You know, I draw every day. I wish I could paint every day. Unfortunately, my situation doesn't allow that. But, you know, right now, this is enough. And trust me, with all the editing and filming, although I'm getting better at it, you know, and it's taking me less time, and these videos are getting shorter because of that, it's still taking up a big bulk of time. And, you know, of course, oh, let's get back to debts, you know. This is a man whose style cannot be defined. He makes me think, you know, his creativity is bottomless, you know, fathomless, because, you know, there are defined styles in graffiti, you know, and I've literally seen this man do pieces without a visible outline, and they are dope. You know, the way he uses colour, the way he uses form, shapes, letter structures that are just, I don't know how to define it, you know. You know, the term abstract graffiti art springs to mind, but can very much stick to, you know, his own style inside of that as well. It's just another man that I've met that pushes me further, shows me that style is so unique and individual, when I look at him and I look at the stuff he does, it really makes me understand how generic some of my pieces are, you know. But maybe that's because I'm too close to my own style, you know, I don't know. But if you put a random amount of collars and cans in front of either of us, he's more likely to just rock out some incredible piece where I'd be fumbling the whole way through, you know. I don't know if he works off his sketches. That's something I really have to ask him, you know. Can't say I ever sat down and sketched with him. I know he does draw. I know he draws a lot, but I don't know if he takes a sketch to the wall. I don't know if he just freestyles when he gets to the wall. I don't know what goes on. You know, that's a good point to make too. A good point to touch on while I'm here is, you know, I always take a sketch to the wall. I don't think there's ever been a time where I haven't had at least a sketch in my bag. That's why these letters are so different for me, and I'm just here forming up, shaping up, you know, a letter and building it right in front of you. That's not something that I've ever done on a wall. You know, dudes like Zorba, Gers, Dets, a few more guys that I'll mention. They have this amazing ability to do that and churn out good work, whereas me, I've been so focused and so obsessed with having clean letters and getting at exactly what I want to say, doing it exactly the way I want it done, that, you know, I probably miss a lot. A lot of my personality probably doesn't come out in my pieces, where I see the individual in a lot of their letters. You know, I can see the individual in Zorba's piece. I can see the individual in Gers. I can see the individual in Dets like you wouldn't believe. You know, and maybe that's just from knowing people, knowing them so well, being so close to them, that, you know, painting with them for so long, knowing their style, knowing them as a person. Maybe this is just one more trait in, you know, knowing an artist, knowing someone, you know, knowing what their creativity can bring forward at the drop of a hat. You know, because there's literally been times when I've rolled around to his house with 2 or 3 guys, and we're going out painting, get in the car, and he's just madly grabbing paint, and we're out to do a daytime spot. You know, if that was me and the shoe was on the other foot, and dudes did that, rocked up and just I'd be rummaging through sketches. I'd at least take a letter. I don't know. You know, I don't know how the finished product would turn out. Maybe that's something that I should really start doing. You know, really pushing myself. Is when I go to do a piece, go to do something, you know, forget the sketch and just see what flows out of me. I'm sure it'll be a less stressful experience. You know, it can't hurt, right?
And then like, not again, what this kid got a problem with now. I am the master, bow, pass by quickly. I should not have to ask ya, point your eyes to the ground. Why so shifty? Go, pennies and gold, whenever the ultimate goal. That's being smart, don't be a dope. I'm a breather of smoke, Kazama, the keeper of oaths, death and disaster. I'm the master of both, ever ready for the here and the after. Got the heart of my father, gonna die like a martyr. With a past that can tear you apart, rah, limb from limb. Never did I act on a whim, move with precision and cool with the writtens whenever I'm spitting. Still keeping this shit real, what about this is you not getting? Pulling a weapon of steel, cause that's my style. Haven't been back for a while. Ninjitsu, pull from the hip and the real thing hits you. Shogun, rival by no one, I am the young gun. You are but no one, no I don't know you. Neither your team, neither your team, neither your team. Cause it takes one to know one. Take your shit, no I don't owe you. No I don't answer to no one, that means Ronin. Taken, stolen, rolling deep in a one-man army. You cannot harm me. Sepuku, kamikaze, still reppin' my kanji. Give it a rest, cunt don't start me. Under the rest and the life of the party. One-man band, you get stuck like epoxy. Might just leave you in the dust of the box. G, what you're not, don't get cocky. Drop tags like bodies, dead in the water. Me than you, respect the order. Done it to death, then I done it some more like it never been done. Son, that's what you just got, why so shifty? Cause they're like, not again, what this kid got a problem with now. I am the master, bow, pass by quickly. I should not have to ask ya, point your eyes to the ground. Why so shifty? And they're like, not again, what this kid got a problem with now. I am the master, bow, pass by quickly. I should not have to ask ya, point your eyes to the ground. Why so shifty?
What to do with this background, I don't know. Got a red sitting around here, maybe. Maybe I'll throw some dots in. Yeah, just a random pattern. Should look good. Just come back in with that fine liner and sharpen everything up again. Just clean up all those lines. There's nothing special about these fine liners. I think you get them for $5 for $2 from a cheap store. I'm sure your school art cupboard has a few. Sometimes it's just those little lines, those little things that can just, finish everything off. Sharpening everything up, cleaning up a few lines. Getting rid of those thick spots, or adding them, like I just did there. I don't know, let me know what you think of this letter in the comment section. Too plain? I'm hoping that busy background and using the similar colours in the background as I am in the piece will sort of let me get away with having a plainer sort of fill. There it is, my attempt at a letter D. Thanks for tuning in to the 4th installment of Alphabets. If you enjoyed this video, hit the like button, subscribe, leave a comment. I'd love to hear from you. If you have any thoughts or questions on any of my letters or any of the people I've mentioned or stories I've told, hit me up. I'll see you next time. Peace.